Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to replace a Chromebook screen. And the first thing that we want to start with is our smallest Phillips screwdriver. Kind of looks like this. It's kind of hard to see. And our smallest flathead screwdriver as well. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to open up the Chromebook and kind of lay it flat. I'll go ahead and power it off. So the first thing that we want to look at here is in the corner, if I can show you good, right here, that little curvy part right there, that's a sticker. Okay, so what we're going to try to do is remove that sticker. There's one on each corner right here, and then the same on the other side over here. Okay, so let's see if I can get us zoomed in here and take a look at what I'm doing. Okay, so that's your sticker right here. So the easiest way to get the sticker off is to hold your screwdriver vertical. Okay, we don't want to come in sideways like this. We want to hold it straight up and down. And I'm going to take this is the flathead screwdriver. I'm going to take the flathead and I'm going to put it in this crevice between the outside shell and the sticker. So I'm just going to put it right in there and push down very gently. And then I'm going to pull up. And you'll see the sticker pull up with it, okay? So now that the sticker is starting to peel up, these are plastic stickers, so they do bend and rip easily. So what I'm going to do is just start pushing my screwdriver all the way down the length of this sticker. Okay. I'm going to hold it with one of my hands while I keep pushing the screwdriver back and forth until it pops off. Okay. So now I'm going to take this sticker. See, the goal is not to try to scratch it or bend it. They do rip sometimes, it happens. I'm going to take this sticker, I'm going to put it right here, just so I don't lose it, okay? The reason we have to take that off is because there is a little hidden screw right in there that we're going to get to in just a moment. But first I need to take the other sticker off. We're going to do the same thing on this side now. Try to wedge it in there a little bit and pull down, and you'll see the sticker pop up. I did crease that one a little bit. It's not the end of the world, but that's just kind of what I'm trying to avoid doing. Okay, put that one right there as well. Okay, now what we're going to do is take these screws out. These are even harder to see, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to bend the Chromebook upward a little bit, see if I can get a good view on that screw. You can kind of see it in there. Now the screwdriver does not fit perfectly on that screw. Because this part right here is in the way. So what we're going to do, I can come in at an angle just like this, but the goal is to make sure that the tip of the screwdriver is for sure inside of that screw, okay? So I'm going to look very carefully. I'm going to put my screwdriver in there. I see that it's connected. Now I can pull back against the Chromebook. You can kind of see it moving, the Chromebook moving a little bit. That's okay. We just don't want to do it too much. So I got my screwdriver connected to the screw. I'm going to pull back a little bit and then turn it counterclockwise. Now I do have to push. The screwdriver I'm using has this rotating head on it so that I can push with the inside of my hand while I'm turning it with my fingers. So I'm actually applying pressure here while I'm turning the screwdriver. Notice that this part doesn't turn when you do that. That's allows you to put more pressure while still doing it with one hand. Okay, so let's try that again. Get my screwdriver on, push against the body a little bit. I'm going to apply pressure while I'm turning it counterclockwise. Okay, and the screw has loosened. And sometimes it likes to get stuck in there. You can just kind of pop it out there, try not to lose it. Now, I do not require students to put these screws back in. They are difficult to put in. They aren't really required because the bezel snaps in pretty solid. So I'm not worried about putting these back in. You can discard them. We're going to do the same thing right here with this screw, okay? So I'm gonna come in at an angle. Once I feel that the screwdriver is connected to the screw right there, I'm gonna lift the screwdriver up, push the body a little bit, push down with my hand to apply some force, and turn it counterclockwise. Okay? This is probably one of the hardest part, removing the stickers and getting these screws out. The rest isn't this bad. All right, so we got our bezel screws out now. So let's proceed with actually removing the bezel now. I'm going to discard these screws. We don't need those. So the easiest way to do this, actually, I'm going to have the top of the Chromebook facing me. And the easiest thing to do, it kind of helps if you have fingernails, but it's not required. You can actually grab this bezel right here. Try to get your fingernails under it, or it's kind of tricky if you don't have fingernails, but work at this right here, and you'll feel it start to pull away, okay? And now there is some adhesive. That's why it feels like it's kind of hard to pull. There is some adhesive under here that's not a problem. Just keep pulling. Notice I'm pulling here and here at the same time. Okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way together with both hands around the sides until we get down here. So we're going to keep doing this. Once you get that adhesive pulled up right here, the rest should be pretty easy. I'm going to pull it up. And once I get down here to the bottom, what I usually do, I can run my thumb and pull up underneath there until it all pops off. Now this hinge part right here should just pop right off. Okay? So now we're going to remove that. There are 4 screws we need to worry about right here. There are, it's 1 in each corner. So this is pretty obvious here. There's only 1 screw down here, and there's only 1 screw down here. But there are 2 screws up here. So if you look closely up here, you can see what we're focusing on here. Sorry for the blurry camera. There we go. You can see the screen has these metal tabs that stick out right there. Okay, so the only screw that we're concerned about is this screw holding in this metal tab right here. Okay, we don't care about this one. This one needs to stay in. And the same for the other side of the Chromebook. On the top other corner, same thing. There's a metal tab right there we have to pay attention to. So we don't want to take out this one. We want to take out this one. Okay, that's the 4 we're taking out here. Okay, so let's remove these screws here. So, like I said, we're going to do that first screw. Now these screws we want to keep. We don't want to throw these away. So I'm going to set these aside right here. Sometimes you do have to apply some pressure to get these screws to start turning. Okay, there's 3. And remember what screws we need up here. Okay, there's our 4 screws. And what we can do now, sometimes you can lift it up with your fingers. I like to just kind of grab my flathead and gently lift up on the screen. The screen is already loose. We can pick it up now. But there is a cable attached to it. So before we pull on it, what I'm going to do is just flip it straight over like I'm closing the Chromebook. And what you can see right here is the data cable that we need to remove. It's kind of a fragile cable, so we need to be careful. There is a sort of a T-shaped sticker right here that connects to the cable. So it kind of has a T shape here. We're going to start peeling from here, but we don't, once we pick it up, we don't want to rip it this way because then it's just going to rip here, okay? So what I'm going to do is start peeling all of this area off first so that I can then pull it back. If you rip it off of this plug right here, it'll rip the metal coating off of this plug. So just watch and I'll kind of walk you through it. So we've got to start pulling this corner of the tape right here. I'm just going to try to get it to pull up there a little bit, and I'm going to grab it. Okay. But then I'm going to start pulling down towards the plug just so I can loosen this top part of the sticker. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. If I pull any more, if I pull too hard, it can damage the sticker. So I barely just want to loosen it. I'm going to leave this connected to the plug itself, okay? Now I'm going to grab the sticker and the plug together and just pop it right off. It's that easy. So there's our screen that we just disconnected. So if this screen is broken, these are disposable. We can throw these away. Okay? And we're going to get our new screen. In this case, the Chromebook I'm repairing, it doesn't actually have a damaged screen. Our new screen we would grab from our spare stock. We're going to take our new screen and we're going to place it just like we had the other one when we took it off. Okay, we're going to place it just like this. And I'm going to maybe turn it sideways so that I can hold this screen in one hand while I'm holding the cable in the other. Now this cable, I can't move it very far, so what I'm going to do is hold the screen and move the screen where I need it while I'm plugging it in. So let's try to zoom in here and see if we can get a good view of this part right here. So now there are little hinges, not hinges, they're a little overhang here, little lip, and this plug here needs to fit inside of this lip on either side. Okay, so that's what we're looking at when we do this. So I'm going to pull the sticker back. I'm going to line this up, and I'm looking for it to be completely flush like that. Okay. Once I can tell that that plug is in all the way, I'm going to take this sticker, push it forward so it has just a little bit of tension on that cable so it doesn't come unplugged in the future. That is a pretty sticky sticker there, so it should stay on pretty good. All right, now that we have our new screen plugged back in, actually before we zoom out, because I was moving this cable around, and this might be a little hard to see, but you'll notice there's this little plastic pathway that this cable is supposed to be in. And it looks like it kind of is already, but I can pull this out just to show you. If I pull the cable out completely, when you look down here, you can kind of see a pathway where this cable looks like it would fit. And that's what we need to do. We just need to make sure the cable is in that pathway completely. Okay, see that? There's a little hook there that needs to go under. Okay, and I can kind of finish that when I flip the screen over. So I'm going to flip the screen over now, and you can see right here, it just kind of needs pushed down and in until it's happy. There we go. Okay. And it might help if I had the screen lined up on the screw holes properly, which I'll zoom out and show you here in just a moment. I'm actually lining up these tabs with the holes, okay? And once the screen is lined up in length flat, it gets a little bit easier to put this cable back in. So it looks like it's in now. We're good to go. All right. Excuse me. So we're going to start by putting our screws back in. We have 4 screws we took out. Put these guys back in. That was a failure. Let's try that again. You do not have to over tighten these. Once the screw stops turning, you just make sure it's snug, that it's not going to loosen itself, and it will be fine. So we don't have to go crazy when we're tightening these up. All right, there's 2, nice and snug. Turn this guy around. Okay. $3, and our last one. Lost that one too. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, that's one thing about these screws. They're really hard to see when they land on your carpet, so try to have a large workspace. Okay, now that we got our screws back in, we're going to put our bezel back on. And to do that, we're going to lay it down right where it looks like it fits. But it's a little bit, notice it's a little bit off, because the first thing we need to do is to take this curved piece right here and wrap that around our hinges. So what I'm going to do is kind of tip it up a little bit while I'm pulling it towards me. And it should kind of sit down right on those hinges, okay? So now it's on the hinges. I can see that it's covering the hinges nicely. So what I'm going to start doing is just going around the bezel and snapping it into place. You'll hear it and feel it snap as you go around. Now the one thing you got to remember to do is press kind of right here, but just on the bottom part of the bezel, right by the hinge piece here, and make sure that you feel it snap all the way around. Now what I'm going to look for here are parts of the bezel that haven't snapped yet. Okay, so I'm going to look all around the edges there, and I see a couple. Okay, so I'm going to sit here, go around the edges, make sure I got every last snap. Yeah, there's another one. Okay. And another one. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good now. And notice, it already came on. So I know my screen's working. I know I did a good job because the screen turned on. So the last thing we're going to do, we're not going to put these screws back in. Those are harder to put in than they were to take out. But what I am going to do is get my sticker here and be very careful not to bend it. This is always a fun part too. We're going to try to line this sticker up. We're not going to press down yet. I am just going to line it up and let it fall into place. And if I'm happy with kind of where it landed, which I'm not in that case, let's try that again. Sometimes it helps if you kind of bend the screen a little bit so it's not laying completely flat. My sticker just stuck to the table. There we go. I'm going to try to just lay it in there. And once I kind of am a little happy with it, I can use a screwdriver to nudge it into place where I want it. So, there we go. Once it's in place, you can just gently tap it down. You can use your finger to get these corner parts here. And then just kind of gently push on it with the whole length of the screwdriver, not just the tip, because that'll scratch it. So I'm kind of just pressing with the side of the screwdriver, okay? We'll do the same thing to the other side here. See if I can get you a better angle. Okay, I'm gonna get that kind of where I want it, where it looks good. That wasn't snapped in either. There we go. Once I get it to where I like it, same thing. Gently press on it with a screwdriver. Use my hand. And that's it. So now we've just repaired our screen. If you got this far and your screen didn't turn on and it was a brand new screen, then most likely, or it is a cable issue. It would be very rare that your new screen would be bad. Just unplugging that cable and plugging it in usually isn't enough to damage the screen. So if you have it working, then congratulations, you've done everything correctly. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.